Hi, I'm Jim.
I'm Renda.
We're hardiness approach.
And here we are. It's been at least 3 weeks.
Yeah, a little bit update on things. I'm a month into my androgen deprivation therapy.
Oh no, you're 2 months.
Oh yeah, 2 months into that. Wow.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's good.
Let's talk about your nose first.
Well, no, I want to finish that.
Okay.
I think it's important. That's a place to start. That's the beginning part.
Oh.
I'm feeling the effects. I'm exercising
A lot.
And what I'm finding is I'm struggling. You know, usually when you exercise consistently, you start to be able to do more and that type of thing. I am struggling just to keep up with doing what I've been doing. From one day to the next, it's like I'm not gaining more ability. And
It's evidenced by if you touch his biceps before when he was doing it, and now they're just soft.
so what they said about losing muscle in a high percentage is very true. And so I'm working it. I feel great. I'm able to do a lot, and we can maybe talk about that. But I'm feeling it. Plus, gaining a little bit in here, and I'm not. We're eating.
The here he can't see, but
Yeah, you can't see.
the
Here. We're eating very healthy. We're not eating foods that would cause me to gain weight, but I'm putting on that visceral fat around the middle.
in fact, he's very thin otherwise.
Yeah. So those things are happening. Now, to this one, the skin cancer on the nose. Finally to the point I can go out in public with this thing showing, and it's not like a big gaping divot in my nose.
It's healing very well.
It's doing a good
He has
job.
to keep the sun off, which right this moment, I thought,
The sun's coming through the tree a
oh,
little.
look at that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So he has to keep the sun off of his scar for a year, or else it'll turn red. And it reminded me, we started this with your stuff, and I'm great with that. It's a really, really quick thing. In December, 3 days before Christmas, I had a complete thyroidectomy and a goiter that was removed from here down to here. And I have a scar here that I have to keep out of the sun for a year, and it's doing so well.
Yeah,
you can't even see
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's not visible, which
So,
is fantastic.
yeah. So that's doing really well.
And she's doing the adjustments that you do when you don't have a thyroid.
Yeah.
With the medication, which
Yeah.
that was certainly not something we looked forward to doing.
No.
But so far, not bad.
Yeah, I was to the point that I could not swallow because the goiter was so large that, yeah. But anyway, that was me. But
I would like to do simple for a while.
oh, I would too. I would too. So we did some simple.
We did some great simple. We've shared some of it on here, and that's one of the things I want to talk about, which we see as a blessing with this cancer, that it caused us to pause, but it also caused us to connect with our children more than we had planned. And really, we've spent time with all of them. I mean, good time with all of them. I mean, we had the trip to Spain planned because our son had moved over there, and before he moved, we knew he was going to, and we purchased the tickets way back, and so that was part of it. But to have it happen in the midst of this cancer treatment was great. But we spent the first part of the cancer treatment staying at our son's home, who has a home in Salt Lake, and we spent time with him, which was great. It was a good time spent. Following the trip to Spain, we went and spent some time with our daughter and her family, the twins and her husband, which was wonderful. And then
Or 4.5 now.
yes. Well, and then backing up, and this is just a reminder, I think we've talked about it on here, our fourth son, while we were in Salt Lake, came and spent a week with us. Now, we ended up having COVID. He ended up getting sick.
We ended up getting sick. I don't think he did.
He got sick after a little bit.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been afraid to ask him.
Anyway, it wasn't the week that any of us envisioned it was going to be.
We met him at the airport with masks on. Says, we don't feel good. We're going to the doctor. And so we dropped him off at home, and then we're told we had COVID, and we're like, what?
So that was
not a good time.
But he decided that he wanted to spend some quality time with us. So, not
in 2
this
weeks.
coming week, but in 2 weeks, he's rented a boat and a Airbnb over on Navajo Lake close to us. He's fished there before and had a fantastic experience, and so he wanted to come do it again. He says, let's do it together. And so we're going to spend a few days with him one-on-one, and that's going to be fantastic. Anyway, after visiting our daughter, we drove on up to the Portland area and visited with a son there. He took literally a week off work. I mean, he's a manager, and he had to do phone calls a couple of times and emails, but he had rented an Airbnb up in the San Juan Islands on Lopez Island. And we spent a week up there.
Do you think we could put some pictures on and show?
Oh, we've got to do that. I'm going to try to do that. I'm pretty sure I can. We have some. If I don't, sorry. But it was gorgeous. We've never been to the San Juan Islands up there. Didn't know what they were.
They're in between Washington and Canada, but they're part of Washington.
Well, they're like right off the Puget Sound and all of that.
Yeah.
And it's, there's a bunch of islands there. Part of them are in the U.S., part of them are in Canada. So it's right where the dividing line is.
I think after coming off of Spain and being able to have that Mediterranean life where we were slow and we just sat and watched and listened and felt, to be able to go to the San Juan Islands, we still did it on the water. And we took ferries 4 times. We saw whales. We saw a little seal. Beautiful sunsets.
Maybe if I don't put any other photos on it, I got to put that. We had a sunset. We went out to do the sunset on what's called Iceberg Island, Iceberg Point. Yeah. Or Ice Point, whatever it is.
Iceberg Point.
Yeah, kind of windy there and so forth, but great location. We had great sunset shots. And as we're walking to leave, we looked back more towards a little bit the north of where we'd been through the trees, and it's like
on fire.
We're like, what? 'Cause we thought the sunset was finished, all what we could see, and so we went over to those trees, and as we broke through the trees and could see out across the horizon, the sunset was still happening there, but it was like the sky was on fire.
It was
literally.
like somebody was finger painting in the clouds.
So the photos we're going to show you, they're not photoshopped. Okay? This is what it looked like to the naked eye. It was phenomenal.
It was crazy.
And I'll definitely get those.
Definitely get those.
It was
the
fantastic.
wonderful thing is that we have connected with 5 of our children in ways that we can feel that their heart's been touched.
Yes.
And that our relationships have been strengthened, and what a blessing that has been.
It's wonderful, and we're very happy.
And I know that our daughter's bringing the twins over to Salt Lake while we're there for your radiation.
They've been promised they're going to the zoo, and we're gonna go with them. So that's going to be a great summer adventure. So when we got back, we were going to spend a little more time with our daughter after visiting our son on our way back, because we were coming right through where they live, and two girls were sick.
Well, we had spent the time with the girls, and one of the girls was sick then.
Yep.
One of the girls was sick at our son's house. I promptly got sick.
Yeah.
On San Juan Island, I was sick. Cold sick.
Yeah.
It was just a cold.
Yeah.
Not the flu, not COVID, not anything.
Anyway, when we got back to them,
they were sicker.
and I can't get sick because of the surgery that's coming up, and so we were really concerned. And after a couple of days, things weren't getting better, and it's just like, let's go back home because we can't stay here. It's a jeopardy, and so we came on back home. When we got back home,
Hi,
there's
bumblebee.
a bee kind of
There's a bumblebee.
big black bumblebee that hangs around. No big deal. And we decided it's gardening time. So we did a lot here with the gardens.
Memorial Day.
Yep.
We worked, that was Monday. Today is Sunday. It is our day of rest because we did 6 days.
So if you look behind us, you see this wood that's stacked up.
I'm going to move it so they can see it.
Take a look at it.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Can I show them the fairy garden?
Show them whatever you want.
Okay, so this is pots that we did, and those are broccoli and cauliflower, and then this is sunflowers and the little pots that we've got still growing for seedlings, and my sister put little fairies in here, so cute, and called this her fairy garden. I'm just going to show while we've got this. You want to walk with me?
I'll walk with you.
So they have had this 4x16 beds. They've had these for years. And then all of the pots that you see are herbs that I grew because I was inspired in Spain. And I wanted a Mediterranean life. So this week, we potted those, and we made this garden right here, which is all green beans. And we got a garden plot over here ready to go for sweet potatoes, and another one around the corner that we put
Ground cover on.
Yeah.
So that the weeds don't get to grow.
So we have.
It was also with this wood. There was a lot of it that was
Huge.
that wasn't split, and some of it was split, but it wasn't split down as far as it needs to be to burn very well.
Some of it was too long.
Plus, there were I don't know how many stumps, but several large stumps. I mean, we're talking
Large
18
stumps.
inches or more across. I mean, some of them are like 2 foot easy. Huge, and broke all of those down.
And it was just sitting. It's been sitting here for a year.
Yeah,
in their
more
yard.
2 years. So, and we encouraged him to buy a wood splitter because it was so much to do. He really can't split wood physically. He's just not to the point that he can do that. So we had them get a wood splitter like we'd had in in Missouri.
In
We
Missouri.
found worked so good. It wasn't
The
expensive.
one from Harbor Freight that's right around $300, we got it for way less than that.
Yeah.
And it works so well. So if you're a senior and you need to
Split wood.
split wood, get that. We did this whole thing
Yeah, it was
in
amazing.
2 days.
Yeah, so all the wood. Plus,
And-
one thing you did mention is we are rebuilding their outdoor grill because it's, as you know, if they just set and get used over time, parts break down and so forth. So we've been replacing what needs replaced, so they're going to have a grill to use. And we have parts.
we got the chainsaw so that you could.
Yep.
I mean, they had a chainsaw. He
Yeah.
fixed the chainsaw so that we could
We had to cut
do
the
it.
wood.
I wish we would have got that on video, you guys. I had 2 logs, and I would put a log there, and he would split it.
Not split it.
I mean,
cut
he
it
would
in
cut
half.
it in half, and I had another one, and so I'd pull those off, throw another one on, pull those off, throw another one on. I was just moving back and forth, back and forth, back and
In the
forth.
meantime, I'm cutting them.
Cutting them just as fast as he could, and it was just like, okay, this is weight-bearing exercises.
We definitely had our work.
So we did all of that, and then
It's been a busy week.
And then out in the front, we dug 10 holes and put in squash, and we mixed it with some of the sawdust, some of the leaves, manure, and compost that we had, and then the soil, because they had clay. And we put it on. So we did that. We planted
Well,
10 different kinds of
that
squash.
was our first project into turning the front yard, which is
Dirt.
It's got a tree in it and some pots, but that's it. And so we're turning that into a garden out there. So front yard garden.
And then yesterday we finally started tackling the flashing and the gutters that need to go on the house. And I think we overwhelmed them because we just work. And
they work too.
They work.
They work like crazy.
Yeah.
But there's some skills we have that they don't have, and so we're putting our skills to work.
I thought my sister was going to cry last night. She goes, "I'm just so happy this is finally getting done."
They bought the materials for doing the
4 years ago.
Yeah, for doing the gutters and flashing 4 years ago, and just as it turns out, it wasn't all the right. It was like it was all the pieces that were needed to do part of it,
to the right.
But they weren't matched.
They didn't match.
So when we looked at it, it was like, my head's going to explode. What is this puzzle? And it took us a while to figure out what they had and how it all fit together, what was needed. And anyway, we're going to get what's been falling apart in the edges of the roof because it's not had flashing and gutters. That's going to get in place.
Fixing it.
Yep.
So this week, we head back to Salt Lake on Tuesday. And
for the next therapy.
Therapy?
That's what they call it.
Really?
This is androgen deprivation therapy that went on.
Okay.
Next, it's going to be brachy therapy.
Oh, brachy therapy. Okay. So we have all of his prep. It's called seed implant of radiation, and we will tell you a whole lot more at the end of the week. We'll make another video at the end of the week telling you what it's all. But we're driving up on Tuesday, prepping. He has a ton of prep that has to be done on Wednesday. Thursday is his surgery. They said that I'll be in the waiting room 5 to 6 hours between the surgery and the recovery.
They're planting seeds.
And then we were able to get the other thing that we had to go back in 3 weeks.
That's what they call it.
CT simulation where they put the tattoos on him and make a mold where he's going to have the radiation.
That tattoos for where the radiation is, so they have things marked so they know.
That's on Friday.
Consistently where to go.
On Saturday we're going over to our oldest son's house again, and we'll come home on Sunday.
His new house. They actually moved from one part of it.
It's going to be a crazy, emotional, hard week.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll report at the end of this week. So yeah, if you want to put us in your prayers, this is a tough week for us.
And just as a reminder, this brachy therapy is the second of 3 therapies. The last one is going to be the radiation, which is what the CT sim is for, is to get me ready for that. And that's not scheduled yet, but as soon as
Friday.
As soon as the brachy therapy is completed, then they can schedule, because that kind of sets a clock of when things have to happen.
Yeah. So, in closing, whenever you get a trial in life, you can take that trial and grump about it and complain and be upset, or you can say, look at all the blessings that are coming from this trial. And I know that he has had moments of hurting. He's had moments of muscle wasting. He's had hot flashes, lots of hot flashes. And we're really watching what he eats. He exercises like
for example,
crazy.
This morning we have a walk we go on that takes about an hour or so. It's a little over 4 miles, and we didn't get to do it every day, but we did it We did it like 3 times.
3 times
this week. So that's pretty good. We'd like to do more. Schedules just.
But we didn't hurt. We weren't tired at all during the 4 miles.
It's feeling good.
Yeah.
And prior to that, when we got here, I was having extreme back. I mean, it was hurting,
Well,
stiff,
because
we hadn't been doing exercise and we've been sitting in the
right.
car.
So we've been told that if he can't take a holiday from this exercise. If he takes a holiday from it,
I pay.
his body just grew. And we did 5 days without exercise, and 2 of them were in the car traveling.
Yeah.
So that was just a testimony to us that, okay, we have to do these exercises.
I have to do them.
So
But, I mean, I was really I couldn't hardly move. Getting out of bed was hard. I'd have to roll out carefully, and just standing up.
he did not even tell me either.
Anyway, we've got to exercise. That's what we learned from all of that. And now I'm feeling great. I mean, I've been up on a ladder doing stuff.
Painting last night till 10 o'clock with a light.
Yeah. So,
I'll say
we
this
gotta
to
take
you
care of
guys. You can take us off the homestead, but you can't take the homestead out of us. And we have just done a lot of things. We're planting a lawn, a clover little area for her grandkids and stuff. Anyway.
Thank you for your prayers and your good wishes. We appreciate that. And for anybody who is coming into issues with prostate cancer, and if you have questions, we've tried to answer things here. But if you have specific questions, let us know, and we'll do our best to answer them. We're not doctors. We don't know everything.
We're
but
patients.
We can talk to you about our experience, some of our thought process in making our decisions, because this is not a simple decision to make, but because there are a lot of considerations. But shoot your questions our way. But once again, thanks for watching, and take care.